Hey y'all, Jamie here. Proud 55-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off? Well, y'all, I had gone over to my mother's house, and it was during Southern Decadence. That's Labor Day weekend for those of you who are not from Louisiana. And it was, listen, my mother had gotten drunk. She came over to my house and she said, "Come on over to my house. I've got lots of food. Let's hang out." So I did, and when I got there, her boyfriend showed up. Who was her boyfriend, you may ask, if you weren't here yesterday? Well, it was Bill Copeland, Al Copeland's brother, the co founder of Popeye's Fried Chicken. That's right. Was he married? Yeah. Was she his mistress? Yeah, for 4 years. Anyway, so Bill comes knocking on the door. My mother was not expecting Bill. She ran me up the stairs, okay? I didn't get to this yesterday. She ran me up the stairs at her house, and she starts pushing her makeup at me for me to fix myself up for this man so that I'm presentable because when she came over to my house, I didn't have any makeup on. I looked a mess. Like, I looked a mess, okay? And so, yeah, she starts shoving her makeup at me. My mother is Sicilian, okay? Full blooded Sicilian. I'm half Cajun, half Sicilian. Guess which side I got the coloring after? Yeah, the Cajun. So I am not my mother's color. I am not my mother's color. My mother was olive complected, like dark olive complected. People used to think my mother was Mexican. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, she throws her makeup at me, and I'm like, "Mama, I can't use this. This is not my color. Just try, just try, just try." So instead of using her foundation, I used some other products. And we were in her bathroom. She has Bill waiting downstairs, right? And we're in her bathroom, and my mother looked at me, and this was the first time this ever happened. She looked at my breasts, and she just grabbed them with both hands, just grabbed them and shook them like that. Yeah. And looked at me and said, "I just had to satisfy my own curiosity." I said, "Oh, okay. Yeah, getting felt up by your mother. Great." So, anyway, we hang out with Bill. Bill hangs out for a while. We socialize with him, and I'm getting ready to leave. And my mother is putting all of this food together for me. And Bill says, she asked me, Bill says, "Jamie, do you want some of this spicy stuff?" It was shrimp, I believe. And my mother said, "Oh, no, he can't eat that." Bill looked, Bill looked, and my mother said, "I mean, she," and she kind of glossed over it. To this day, I don't know if the man figured it out by that. I mean, she told him that I was her son Jimmy's friend Jamie from school, and then she misgendered me in front of him. You figure it out. Okay. I never saw Bill Copeland again, though, so really, it's neither here nor there at the end of the day. I never saw the man again. So, y'all, around this time, I started working I went from Fun Limited to a bar called the Monkey Bar. The Monkey Bar was on Charters. Yeah, it was on Charters close to Iberville. It was downstairs from the Bangkok Massage Parlor. Yeah, the Bangkok Thai Massage Parlor was upstairs. And I went to work at the Monkey Bar. Well, that's where I met this tall, beautiful black girl named Karen, right? Karen was a trans woman. She was like 6 foot tall, though. A very tall girl, but just beautiful, just beautiful. She had those kind of like high cheekbones, very Cherokee cheekbones. Like, she had some Cherokee in her, I believe. And, you know, we hit it off. Me and Karen hit it off like right away. We became best buds, and we started hanging out. And I started giving her rides home from work. I had bought this shitty old Firebird, like a 1977 sky blue Firebird, right? It sounded like wah, 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 wah. When you went down the street, one of those, like I've had a 405 under the hood. Yeah, it was not playing. It was a shitty car, but it was badass as far as what was under the hood. Now, Karen and I are hanging out, and when we get off of work, we start going socializing together. Like, we're hanging out at different clubs and stuff. We both know all the same people over at the Roundup in the French Quarter. But Karen and I decided to start branching out. She wants to show me some of her hangouts, right? And some of them were uptown off of St. Charles Street in the Uptown area, in the Uptown District, if any of you are, the Garden District. For any of you who are familiar, it's the Garden District. And so one night, Karen takes me to this little bar in the Garden District, and it is a black club. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't faze me. My friends have always been Latin, black, white, yeah, you name it. I don't care about that shit. So Karen brings me up in this bar, however, and in Louisiana, listen, things are very old school South in Louisiana, and you know, I let's I was my presence was obvious. Let's put it that way. My presence in this club was obvious, okay? And we order drinks and we're sitting at the bar. I'm still not thinking anything of it. Like I didn't expect there to be any kind of ordeal from it, right? And then I hear, who the fuck brought Snow White to the party? And before I can even react, Karen turns around, all 6 foot of her, gets up, hauls back, and knocks this motherfucker out cold, right in the middle of the barroom floor, in a straight black bar. And we're both trans. And yeah, if you want to know what happened next, y'all know the routine. Be here next time, and I will too. I love you all. I love you all for watching, and I love you for the comments. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.